Last night, one of the worst takes ever was posted on Twitter, and I know that's a huge claim because it seems like all that's ever put on Twitter are horrible takes, but once I explain this to you, it'll all make sense. So let me set the scene for you. I'm a pretty big Bengals fan, I have been for pretty much my whole life, so I went and sat down to watch them play the Bills last night. It was a pretty big game, they're both like the top two teams in their division, so everybody was hopped up to watch them go at it and see who was going to come out the victor. But a little bit into the first quarter, the Bengals had the ball, they were running a play. I believe T. Higgins caught the ball and then he was running down the field. And Damar Hamlin, the safety for the Bills, went to go make the tackle. And he did make the tackle. But when he stood back up, he immediately collapsed. To which he received immediate medical attention on the field for about 10 minutes. They did CPR and everything. And then they brought an ambulance onto the field, put him in the ambulance, took him to the hospital to where he received further testing and treatment, and now he is listed to be in critical condition. So naturally, after something this devastating happens, there were prayers going up all around on Twitter. Everybody was wishing him a speedy recovery, hoping that everything's all right. But there was one man lurking in the shadows, waiting to just post the most brain-dead take I've ever seen before, and his name is Skip Bayless. He's like a villain in a comic book series because everybody sees him as the bad guy and he keeps taking L after L after L. The dude's whole persona, what he's most known for, is having bad takes, and this one might just be the worst of them all. He tweeted 3 times overall about the situation that happened. The first tweet and the second tweet were just about the situation and how he's never seen anything like this before, and that his thoughts and prayers are going to Damar Hamlin and his family. And then the third tweet is where stuff really hit the fan. I guess the devil on his shoulder finally got to him and made him tweet one of the most harebrained takes I've ever seen. This is the tweet right here. He said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." And he's not wrong about the first part. This is a pretty massive game, a pretty crucial game in the regular season, but the last part is what everyone took issue with, rightfully so, because he said, it suddenly seems so irrelevant. He's treating Damar Hamlin like he's just a number, like he's just the number on his jersey, like he doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of the NFL season, baby. And naturally, when you have a take this bad on a platform like Twitter, you're gonna get ratioed. One of them is Isaiah Thomas. He said, "I hope they fire you, bro. For you to even think of the game is very sad." And that's very true. That's a sentiment that a lot of people are carrying right now. They want to see Skip Bayless fired. They want to see him packing his bags, throwing a little sack over his shoulder and walking down the highway. And I can't say I disagree. And that's not the only ratio that happened. Even Courage ratioed him, and he said, "Wow, this is disgusting." The dude's just getting ratioed all around. You know your tweet is horrible whenever you have 76,000 quote tweets and only 40,000 likes. And naturally, when somebody messes up and says something bad on the internet, they have to come and put out your standard template apology, which Skip did. He said, "Nothing is more important than that young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue to." Well, Skip, that's not exactly what you said in the first tweet. You said everything else is irrelevant, but in the first tweet you said the game suddenly seems irrelevant compared to his irrelevant injury. Even if you're trying to say it was just a misunderstanding, it's still your fault for wording it bad enough that it can be taken in a different way than you intended. If you really meant that his health was of the most importance, you should have said that in the tweet. You shouldn't be placing the blame on other people saying it's your fault for misunderstanding it. I meant what I meant and you're the one that took it the wrong way. No, Skip, you tweeted it the wrong way. How many times do we gotta teach you this lesson, old man? That's more applicable than ever for Skip Bayless. The dust in his brain must be clouding his judgment or something. Because the injury that happened to Damar Hamlin is one of the most devastating things I've ever seen in my life, and probably the most devastating injury to happen maybe in NFL history. And that's why the players decided to go to the locker rooms until they found out if he was okay or not, and the NFL decided to postpone the game. Because it's not taking priority over the young man's life. And there was an update put out early this morning by the Buffalo Bills themselves. They said Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in our game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field and he was transferred to the UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He is currently sedated and listed in critical condition. And an hour ago, they tweeted again and said Damar Hamlin spent last night in the intensive care unit and remains there today in critical condition at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. We are grateful and thankful for the outpouring of support we have received thus far. It's awesome to see all the support coming to Damar and his family, and the Bills even changed their profile picture to his number and said pray for Damar. Oh, I just found out while I was scrolling through Twitter, it wasn't just the Bills that changed their profile picture to pray for Damar number 3. Every single one of the 32 NFL teams changed their profile picture to this, which is so heartwarming to see. It's giving me chills just saying that right now, man. It's awesome to see when the community can come together on something like this, but there's always going to be that stupid little gremlin like Skip Bayless, whatever his name is, that has to say something so stupid and mess it all up for everyone, just ruin the whole vibe. And another bit of wholesome news that I've seen about this situation is that Damar Hamlin has a charity. It's called the Chasing M's Foundation, and it's a toy drive for the underprivileged children. And I seen this tweet that says Damar Hamlin's charity is officially over 4.4 million in donations and counting. And they're saying they can't wait for Damar to recover and see this great news. Keep praying for the healing of this young man's life. So this dude's an absolute trooper on and off the field. Great football player, even better dude. So I can't wait to see him make a great recovery and then see the absolute impact that his charity was able to have. But anyways, that's about it for this situation. I just wanted to show you what happens when brain rot gets to your head and you turn into a terrible take machine. Horrible takes just become your personality, and also your name's Skip Bayless. It's honestly terrible what he tweeted, but it is great to see some positive things coming out of this, and it seems like he's trending in the right direction, but we can only just keep praying and hoping that he makes a great recovery. Until then, though, I'll catch you in the next one.